What's up everybody, this is Mike, and today I want to tell you a story. It will be a very quick story. Hopefully you get to learn something from it. So you know how you get super hyped when you are traveling to a new location, you drive for like a couple of hours, you get to your destination, you try to set up everything and start recording, and then you see that the place is not what you were looking for. So today's story, it's what happened to me. I came all the way here. It's about 2 hours of driving to get to this the closest waterfall that we have near my city, and I came here to test my new ND filters for long exposure photography from Freewell. I was really hyped to check them out, and I wanted to test them with a waterfall, you know, to give you a different type of content, because I know waterfalls are amazing for long exposure photography. But it turns out this waterfall is not what I expected. So as you can see, there is no running water here. It's dry already. There's a bit of water that you can probably hear. My apologies if you hear a lot of wind, but there's just a bit of water and not enough to capture anything, because it's like a small puddle of water on the ground. So there is nothing that I can capture here, unfortunately. So of course I will try to make the best of this travel experience, and of course use this hiking as just a normal day off, and enjoy the nice location, because it's not something that you can see every day. As you can see, we have a giant cave here and some cool things to look at and enjoy, but it's not exactly what I came here for. But anyway, I guess I will have to reschedule and use the sea as my go-to place for capturing long exposure photography. It's just nothing that I can do right now, sorry for that. But of course you have to remember to always stay positive and get the best out of the situation that you're given. So with that being said, we're now going to transfer to the future, and I will be at the sea where we are going to test the ND filters from Freewell. Let's go. So it's another day. I finally managed to come to the right location. The weather seems fine, although it's a bit windy, but still I'm on the beach, and there are some really cool waves that are happening. So hopefully we will be able to capture some long exposure photos with all that movement in the water. It's crazy, and I cannot wait to test those filters out. Now, before we begin, let me show you the filters. So this is the box that they came with, and basically they are ND128, ND256 and ND400. On top of that, I also have this ND2000 for extremely long exposure photos. So I will test all of them. So all 4 of the filters, I will test them out today, and I'll show you the results that I'm getting with each of them. So without any further ado, let's go. So what I will try to do is shoot the same location from above with all 4 different filters and show you how much the results are changing depending on the settings you choose and the filters you're using. So starting off with the ND128 filter, which is the brightest of all the filters that I'm testing today. First off, we definitely need to turn on the overexposure warning in the settings. We'll need that so we can expose our photo properly. Then, once we switch the camera to manual mode, we can start changing the shutter speed and see which setting will work best for exposing the image the right way. As we shoot in RAW, we can still underexpose or overexpose the image just a little bit, and it's easy to change that in Lightroom when we start editing later. You'll notice that I'm using a shutter value of about 15, and as soon as I switch to a longer shutter speed, we start seeing the zebra pattern showing that we have an overexposure. I will also post some unedited photos with each filter at the end of each clip. The next filter that I'm testing is the ND256, and keep in mind it's about noon time, so it's very sunny and bright outside, so it's definitely not the ideal time for testing those filters, but still I think they show you how much a darker glass changes the settings that you can use for shooting during the day. So as you can see, with this filter I'm able to go for slightly longer shutter speed, but still it's not enough for capturing a 1 or 2 second long photo with that filter, so we'll still need to either go to this place earlier when it's not that sunny and bright, or we need to use a darker filter. The next filter we have is ND400, and here things start to shape up slowly. I can go for even longer shutter speed, but still, once we go to a second or 2.3 or 2.6 shutter speed, we can still have a lot of the area of the image overexposed. Now, I made a couple of experiments where I took a couple of photos with some slight overexposure in them and tried to edit them in Lightroom, and still the results were fine. But keep in mind, the ideal setting for taking a long exposure photo during the day is between 1 second and 2 seconds. Especially with those waves, you want to get as much motion as possible for even stronger effect of that long exposure photo. So taking a photo between 1 and 2 seconds is ideal, and here we definitely see that 1 or 2 seconds is definitely so much overexposed that we cannot use that. So we'll need to go for extremely dark filter like the ND2000 so we can achieve this effect. Finally, with the ND2000 filter, we can definitely see the difference. We can already choose a 1 second shutter speed with definitely no area being overexposed. We can play with that. We can go for even longer shutter speed. I tried with 2 seconds and we have a slight overexposure, but still nothing that worries me. And the key here is to take as many photos as you can, because it's definitely a matter of luck. Sometimes there's a slight gust of wind that can ruin your photo and make it blurry. Sometimes just the waves are coming differently, so you have to take multiple photos so you can be 100% happy with the final result. So my best advice is to use a long shutter speed, something that allows you to have a nicely exposed photo, and then once you find that right setting for this location that you went to, take as many photos as you can. Taking multiple photos is a key, because in my situation here, the waves were looking so different. The view was changing by the minute, so I had to take multiple photos with different values and just see what works best. So I spent a couple of hours editing afterwards, and I want to share the best shots that I've taken from that day. The waves and the way they look when they're captured with a long shutter speed is just something very unique and something that I really like. So this is something that I find very interesting, very creative, and something that I wanted to share with you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Just finished shooting, and I have to say, first of all, I'm really sweaty. It's hot as hell in this car, but I had tons of fun. If you have noticed, I am actually filming at the same location where I filmed my long exposure tutorial with the ND64 filter. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you managed to see the difference between the different filters, and you managed to decide for yourself whether you need a filter like this and which one of them would be ideal for you. Personally, I would definitely recommend ND2000 as the go-to filter for long exposure photography. It's just the darkest glass ever, and it allows you to go for extremely dark and long shots, even when it's super sunny like today. So that being said, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Drop a like if you did. Subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my future videos, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Ciao!